Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of my videos. I hope you guys are all enjoying the story of Unjust Gospel. I will probably apologize if the third part left some confusion, so I made this part to clarify what's going on. So hopefully there's some questions that the third part that I didn't explain properly to be more understanding. I did want the third part to be the world building part or the rule set of what's going on of the characters. But sadly, I guess during that whole last month, I was like under the weather. I was not sick. I did not get any of the virus or anything like that. I just felt under the weather because of all the negativity that was going on. But other than that, like I got this part up and ready. I put in some explaining of what's gonna be happening in the future, how the world will set up, and I made sure I mixed it in so that way it's like part of the story. So if this one is more clarity and is more self-understanding than the third part, then there might be a possibility I might delete the third part and keep the fourth part, or I might just redo the third part in the future. If I do decide to redo it, I'm not sure when I'm gonna do it, but hopefully you guys are all enjoying it. And this one is gonna be interesting because I will actually have a bit of a voice mod going on. So with that, I hope you guys all enjoy it, and let's get started. Back inside the recording booth, Pedri and Frederick all stared at Josh as he helped Robert adjust the microphone. "Hey Josh," Frederick calls out. "Yeah?" Josh replies. "Your explanation about the use of your power doesn't make any sense to me. There are some parts that I want some clarity," Frederick said. "Yeah, I kinda figured. I just repeated what God and Satan said to me at that time," Josh says. "Can you explain how it works then?" Pedri asks. "I guess this would be a good time to let you guys know from what I found out, considering I never mentioned it throughout my struggles," Josh says. "Thank you." Josh clears his throat as he enters the same room with Frederick and Pedri, leaving Robert alone to fix the microphone. "So, from the time when I was learning to control my powers, I learned something about the rules they mentioned," Josh began to explain. "Which is... Well, the one rule that Satan says not to end or extend a life was kinda vague, but I figured it out. Kinda." Josh pauses, taking a quick drink of water. "I'm technically allowed to kill someone so long it doesn't have any relation with anyone that would be affected by that individual." "What do you mean?" Frederick asks. "It's kinda complicated, but the summary that I came up with is that the system only cares about the beginning and the end of every living creature's life. And if killing someone delays the end of that particular person's life, then it'll affect the beginning, and that's why it'll try to end that person's life, whether it kills others with them or not, since it'll probably find people it can sacrifice if needed." "But doesn't killing someone break that rule too?" Frederick asks. "Well, yes, but that's if I don't erase them from reality," Josh replies. "Dude," Pedri calls out. "Oh, and the explanation that God said to me saying that finding another like this is impossible, I think she actually meant that even though I would have found one eventually like this reality, I won't feel at home since I know it's not my real home," Josh says. Well, I wasn't wondering about that. I was wondering about your position in our reality," Frederick said. "Well, Like they said, I'm not part of any reality anymore. You could say I'm like those people that live in a different dimension, just change the fact that that area is where everything is created, Josh replies. Robert enters the room, joining the group, noticing Petrie's face towards Josh. You tell him what you found out about your powers? Robert asks. Yeah, Josh replies. Well, do you guys have any more questions for Josh before we continue? Robert asks. Just one, Frederick responds. Hit me. If you don't have any connections with any reality, does that mean you don't have a physical form anymore? Frederick asks. I honestly don't know how to answer that, Josh replies. Explain? Well, I do have a body that I'm able to interact in every reality, but at the same time, it's not really my body because I'm able to change how I look anytime I want. So I can be anything or anyone, but I chose to stick to this because it's what I was born in before I changed, so I'm most comfortable this way, Josh explains. So does that mean your real body is hidden somewhere? Frederick asked. I don't know. I tend to not think too much about it, since, talking about things that exceed even logic is hard to explain most of the time, Josh says, giving a smile. I guess that's fair. Josh returns inside the recording booth and sets the headphones, taking a deep breath before continuing his recording. Inside the hallway, crowded by all the students, I was leaning on the wall trying to keep my composure from every student's negative emotions flowing through me, as Amelia stood behind me with concern for my well-being. Josh, are you okay? Amelia asks. I'm okay, just a little tired, I replied. Are you sure? Amelia asked, clinging onto my shirt. I tried to get away from her while trying to subdue the emotions piling up inside me. The more I tried to get away from Amelia, the more I felt her tugging on me, keeping me in place. Josh, what's wrong? Amelia asked. I turned towards Amelia, suddenly felt something change inside, feeling all the negative emotions, feeling like a part of me. If you have time to be worried about me, then focus it more on yourself, I suddenly said. Josh? Amelia lets go of my shirt, backing away. I said I'm okay, so you can stop worrying about me. I'm sorry. I stared at Amelia, seeing her feeling guilty from what I said, while in my head, what the f***? I'll see you in class, Amelia said, brushing past me, disappearing in the crowd. What the f*** is going on with me? Why did I say that? I yelled at myself in my head as I headed down the hallway, feeling all the emotion that I was trying to control mixing within me, making it hard for me to tell what I was feeling. While I push other students out of the way, I see a group of bulky students together in the middle of the hallway. As I got closer to them, I was able to tell that the person who was in the center of attention was probably their leader, or ace in their team, before I bumped into one of them. He loses his balance and drops his drink that he was holding onto him, dredging his pants as the others started to laugh. Without saying anything, I continued walking down the hallway, hearing the bell ringing. Finally making it to the class, I find Amelia sitting with Natasha at the back of the classroom. I sat in an empty desk on the opposite side of the room, seeing the teacher entering in. The lecture went by without me needing to talk as the bell ringed and everyone leaving the classroom. As I packed all of my school supplies, I see Amelia approaching me with Natasha next to her. Are you feeling better, Josh? Amelia asked. I tried to say to her that I was okay, but I felt none of my words coming out, but instead said to her, Is there something you need from me? I noticed Natasha glaring at me, but felt her glare somehow differently than usual. The stare that I usually get from her was someone who felt upset or maybe jealous of me, but her stare this time felt different, as if I was intimidating her in some way. "Did you need something?" I repeated, staring back at Natasha. "It's nothing," Natasha replies, breaking eye contact with me. "You see." "You don't seem like yourself right now, Josh. Is everything alright?" Amelia spoke out. "I thought I told you to stop worrying about me and more on yourself. It's not like you have the luxuries in the first place," I said. Natasha, in an instant, throws a punch, knocking me over on my chair. "Josh!" Amelia calls out. "Let's go, Amelia. Forget this jerk," Natasha said, dragging Amelia away. I stood back up, still feeling the pain from the punch, seeing all the other students watching me. Ignoring their stares, I grab my stuff and quickly head out into the hallways. While walking down the hallway, I find the same group that I saw earlier before class started, together again, seeing me approaching. They all surrounded me, blocking my way, giving me a smug look as they acted natural. "Hey there!" I looked to find the guy that I saw standing in the center from the group from earlier. "Can I help you?" I asked. "Just thought you owe someone an apology for pushing one of his friends over, making him spill his drink," he said. "I'm sorry," I wanted to say, but instead I replied, "I didn't take you as a big baby for something so insignificant." "You being slick?" he asked. "No, I didn't mean that," is what I wanted to say, but instead I said to him, "No, apparently I'm supposed to babysit a giant brain-dead baby." "You asking for a fight? Because you won't get out of it unscathed," he said, grabbing on my collar. "No! Try me." The moment I said that, I see him throw a punch at me, but noticed how slow it was going and was able to move out of the way, watching him stumble past me. He turns around and throws another one, only for me to evade it again, but it tripped him, making him fall to the ground. "Ah, did the big baby fall down on the ground?" I said. "You little shit," he replied back, getting up. Getting back on his feet, he rushes at me again, tackling me the same way a football player tackles, but before he reached me, I grabbed onto the back of his collar shirt and pushed him straight to the ground, hearing him gasping. I pinned him on the ground, noticing how little strength I was putting into it, pinning him down as he struggles to push back up, till another guy from the group rushes in and wraps his arm around me. Feeling him trying to pull me away from the guy, I felt no struggle keeping myself in place with little strength put into it. I let go of the leader and stood back up, finding another dude running towards me and punches me straight in the face. "Got him," the guy holding me said. I stood silent, trying to process that his punch didn't feel anything more than a gust of wind touching my face. While I stood silent, the guy who punched me earlier continues punching me till I finally started noticing what was going on. Breaking from the guy who was holding me, and I catch the other guy that was punching me and crush his fist in a grip without intending to. I throw the guy back, leaving him in his scream of pain, and turn to the other dude, finding him backing away from his prize. Seeing me look over to him, he tries to kick me away, but I grab onto his leg and push him back, making him hit the wall. The moment I made him hit the wall, I grab onto his head and smash it into it, leaving a small mark of blood on it as he slid down to the ground. "Oh shit," one of the students in the crowd said. "What the f***? Why can't I stop?" I said, unable to gain control of myself. "You motherfucker," the leader said, grouped up with the others that didn't join. Looking around to see the two that were on the ground, I started to feel myself smiling, like I was enjoying it. "What are you smiling for?" the leader yells out. I stopped smiling, returning to the neutral feeling again, looking back to the leader. "Nothing," I said, shrugging. "You're so dead," the leader said. "Give me your best shot." He spits the ground and walks up to me, staring at me face to face for a while, glaring into his eyes, I felt all his anger spewing out of him, and before I knew it, he throws one last punch at me, still feeling nothing from it. I sighed heavily and punched him back, watching him fly back, slamming into the lockers. When he slammed into the lockers, the force from it opens some of them around him while making a dent into shape. He slides down to the ground as I walked slowly towards him, as he tried to keep conscious. Probably should say something to let you know not to mess with me anymore. But right now, for some reason, I'm actually enjoying watching you guys in pain, and I want to know where I draw the line, I said, placing a foot down on the shoulder. I grabbed one of his foot, digging my fingers through his shoe, and started twisting it slowly. Knowing what I was about to do, he started to get desperate, trying to get my foot off while the others tried to get me away from him. Continuing to twist his foot around, we started to hear the sounds of bones cracking. "Stop!" I said, trying to take control of myself. "Stop! I won't mess with you again!" he cries out. I didn't respond as I see his foot turning further, feeling nothing from it. The leader started to scream in pain as his foot twists, but before his foot broke completely, someone grabbed onto my wrist. I look around to find Pedri behind me. "Josh, that's enough." "Please no. Please no." "Fine," I replied, whipping his hand off my wrist. "What?" Pedri backed away from me, giving me room to grab my backpack and head into the crowd. "Josh, what's wrong with you? You never do anything like that before," Pedri says, following behind me. I didn't reply to him and continued to walk through the crowd, seeing everyone moving away from me, making it easier for me to make it to my classroom. Pedri kept following me, trying to grab my attention, but I made it to the classroom, leaving Pedri behind in the hallway. I placed my school supplies and waited for the class to start, while Pedri stayed with me, suddenly hearing an announcement in the room. "Josh to the principal's office. Josh to the principal's office," it announces. That was faster than I thought, I said, starting to head towards the office. "Josh, say something. Come on," Pedri calls out. "I would say something to you, but I'd rather not," I replied. "Okay, fine. You just seem like you're having a bad day right now." I stop in front of the office doors, looking over to Pedri. "Go talk to Robert." I enter the office to see the principal sitting at his desk, stressing to himself. "You called for me?" I asked. "Yes. Please sit down," the principal replies. I sat in the chair in front of his desk while seeing the principal pinching his nose, sighing out heavily. "I don't need to explain why you are here, right?" the principal asked. "Enough to know that you are upset about it," I replied. "You know what's going to happen to you now." Considering the system in this world runs on, yes. "I'm going to expel you from school." "Just for me defending myself?" "You injured other students in that fight to the point where the ambulance was needed to take them to the hospital." I lean back on my chair, feeling relaxed as I see the principal trying to hold back his rage. "Do you think this is some kind of joke?" the principal slams his hand on his desk. "No, this is a serious crime," I replied. "That's right, but it seems like you are not taking this seriously, so I'm going to have to call your parents, letting them know you are being expelled." "Alright, and I do have one question before I leave." "What?" "What am I being expelled for?" I said, suddenly feeling something exit my body and fill the air without a second to pass. "You're being expelled for..." The principal suddenly fell silent, trying to remember something. I sat there silently, watching as the principal calls on his phone. "Yes?" a woman's voice calls out from the phone. "Hey, do you know why Josh was sent to the office in the first place?" the principal asked. "Wasn't he..." She fell silent. "I don't know." "Huh. Okay." The principal hangs the phone and looks towards me. "Oh, I'm sorry. Why did I call you to my office? I don't know. You just called for me in the announcement, I replied. Okay. Sorry to take up your time. You're free to head back to class. I left the office without saying another word, leaving him confused by himself and headed back to class. What the just happened? As I headed back to the class, I see some students who were free at this time talking to one another. Hey, did you hear what happened to the football team? One of them asked, looking at his phone. Yeah, what could have happened to them? Another replies. I heard they overdid it in their practice, accidentally hurting themselves. I thought someone fought them and left them like that. Dude, look at this. Who could have done this to them? I don't know, but whatever they did, it must have been extreme. Okay, what the is going on? Someone in this world, or this reality, please explain to me, what the is going on? I said to myself, making it to class. The rest of the class went smooth, noticing everyone was treating me normal, as if the event that happened never occurred. As the bell for lunch rang out, inside the cafeteria filled with students, I find Robert. Sitting in the seat next to Robert, I see Petrie staring at me with curiosity in his eyes. What? I asked. Are you yourself right now, Josh, or still this demon side of you? Petrie asked. Excuse me? Hold on, Robert interrupts, grabbing my attention as he stares closely at me. What are you doing? I asked. Nope, this is not our Josh. It's the demon Josh, Robert said. What? Oh, God enchanted my glasses so I can see what you'll be seeing in the future so that the same incident won't freak me out again. And with this, I'm able to see which version of you we are talking to by the color of your wings, Robert said, fixing his glasses. Yeah, so are you able to get control back, or? Petrie asks. I sat silently eating my lunch as Petrie nods his head and notices someone standing behind me. I look behind me to find Natasha standing behind me, giving me the same threatened look. We need to talk, Natasha said, grabbing my wrist. There's nothing to talk about, I replied, getting my wrist out of her grip. Yes, there is, especially if it's going to involve Emily. Why should it matter to you? It does, and you will listen. The only thing I listen to is your complaint following by your violence, so there's nothing to talk about. Will you listen to me? You aren't your usual self right now, and I want to help, Natasha said, suddenly grabbing my collar. If you want to talk to someone, then fix that unattractive attitude of yours, and then maybe someone will come to like you. Natasha's eyes filled with rage while I radiated another punch from her, but suddenly felt a pain surging from below, feeling my legs going numb. I looked down to see Natasha kneeing me in the crotch and lost strength in my legs, falling to the ground, feeling something change again. I hope that got you back in control, Natasha says, disappearing in the crowd. I couldn't respond as the pain overwhelmed me, making it difficult to do anything, while the feeling of everyone's negative emotion screams at me again. Oh, good, that's back, I said, climbing up on my seat. Hey, it's Josh, Robert said. I said. Damn, Josh. I hope your kids come out okay, Petrie says. Ha, ha. Very funny, I said, and fixed my composure, covering my ears, hearing the echoes of everyone around me yelling out. You okay, Josh? Petrie asked. Oh, other than getting kneed really hard, no. I got everyone's voices screaming in my head along with their emotions, I said. What voices? Petrie asked. You haven't told him, Robert? I asked. I was waiting till you came, Robert replies. What about Frederick? Well, he's at home sick, Petrie replies. Robert explains to Petrie of how I'm becoming the next ruler of hell that rules all reality, and how I'm having trouble maintaining it, and what happened that I remembered from the time I was attacked by a snake demon. Dude, That's awesome! Congrats, Josh! Peter said, waiting for a fist bump from me. Yeah, sure, I replied. What's wrong? Peter asked. I don't want this power, I replied. Excuse me? Robert says, looking at me with disbelief. I want to get rid of this power before it permanently becomes part of me and I lose my humanity forever along with your guys' memories of me, I said. Dude, what the f***? That's a power that makes you both than any average living thing, even stronger than any gods in existence, and you want to get rid of it? Petrie calls out. Yeah, I do, because shouldering every reality's sins is something I'd rather not have to live throughout this life, I said. Is it for Emily? Robert asked. Oh, that would make more sense if it's for her, Petrie follows. Why is everyone saying that? I said, trying to silence the voices in my head. Dude, come on, it's obvious you have the hots for her. Just admit it, Petrie said. I don't have any feelings for her, I said. But you did make that promise with her when you guys were kids, right? Robert asked. How the f***? Emily told me. Hey, by the way, what are you hearing mostly with everyone's sins right now? Petrie asked. I fell silent, trying to keep the emotions flowing into me in control, trying to prevent whatever triggered my change from happening again. While I tried to eat my lunch, ignoring both Robert and Petrie, I suddenly felt a chill down my spine as I felt my instincts yelling at me like before, telling me to run. I look around the cafeteria, seeing everything as normal as it was till my eyes catches someone walking towards me. Josh, you okay? Robert asked. I don't know, I said, slowly getting up from my seat. Josh? Peter said, getting up with me. Keeping a close eye on the person walking towards us, I noticed the person was a small girl that had long brown hair reaching down to her ankles, while she wore only one long dress with designs that shaped around in the style of nature. As she got closer, I felt my instincts yelling out more over the mixed emotions, telling me to run out of there. I slowly started to back away, suddenly feeling the same moment when my personality changed, emerging. You gonna run away from that? I heard a familiar voice calling out to me through the screaming voice. Yeah, sure, let's find a strange little girl slowly walking towards me. That won't end badly, I replied. You won't die to people from this reality so long you have people's sins to feed off of. Yeah, says the one who wants to eat my humanity and take over my body. Wait, is that what inner demons do in this reality? The girl suddenly dashes and appears in front of me in a flash, suddenly feeling immense pain coming from my chest. Following down to where the pain was originating, I find the girl digging her arm into my chest and her hand gripping onto my beating heart, slowly squeezing it, feeling my heart freezing in her grip. And that's about the time I have for this video. I'm going to leave this part here. I hope you guys are enjoying this audio story on YouTube. I could be using another thing to post things up easier or reasonably, but I find this more fun to do, and I could do other stuff on my channel if this isn't enough to entertainment later in the future. Also, that it is similar to one of the sponsor things that I'm not going to name because they're not sponsoring me. So, not going to say it. I feel like you guys are probably going to say that in the comments. But, but expect another part in the next part. Well, pretty much you guys will be expecting it in the next month. But yeah, the part 5 or 4, if you guys want me to delete part 3, since if the explanation on this part helped. And so expect it next month. During the next month, I might try to do something. I'm not 100% sure. It's kind of iffy. But when it does happen, I hope you guys are there to watch it. And I'll see you guys all when I see ya. Bye.